Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Diane Dobson Barton. I went through today and I tested out all my oil pastels that I have and compared them to each other on swatches, and I was a little surprised by the result. I just want to come in here real quick before I started that part of the video. I failed to mention about oil pastels also being soluble with mineral spirits or terp. That's one thing. Two, I have not done archival test on any of these, which I need to do. And three, my results may differ than what you need, but this is what I discovered and what works for me. If you have any questions or insights or anything, just go ahead and put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you and get your opinion on things. But this was fun. This was fun and informative. So I'm glad I did this, and I hope you all enjoy it, and I will see you on the other side. I thought it would be a good overview of what things cost, which one has higher quality. So I've got gloves on here because some of the softer ones I tend to get all over my hands. But I'm going to start over here with this stack and then go over to my right. I've made a swatch chart here so that I can put, I chose two colors. I chose vermilion and ultramarine blue to test. I'll do 5 on each card. And then with the brand, each color, and then any notes that we come up with. Some you'll probably be familiar with. Some are probably not so familiar. When you get these Pentels, I'm pretty sure I just got these at like Walmart. These were $6.56 for 50 of them, which is, it seems to be around that on most art supply places. They're very inexpensive, and you can see I've used a lot of them. These days I tend to use them more for just sketching things out, and then I work with the softer on top of it. I don't use these by themselves. The Pentel, they are made in China, which is not unusual for art supplies these days. This says made in Thailand. This set has 50 sticks, and there were 2 white, which is wonderful. They're acid free. They are available in 12, 16, 25, 36, and then the 50 set color, which is what this is. This was the 50 set. So what I pulled out was the vermilion and the ultramarine blue. You can get a solid swatch on there. And then ultramarine blue. These also do have an odor. They sort of smell like a petroleum product. I don't know about the oil that they've put into the mixture, but they are inexpensive. I will say, if you go to the Pentel website, you can get individuals. If you go to pentel.com/products/oil pastel with a hyphen in between oil pastel. I'll put that at the bottom of the screen. And the individual sticks are 27 cents a piece, which you cannot beat. But the quality, I'm not sure about. Like I said, I use these mostly as like an under situation. I'll probably skip over this so you don't have to watch it. These I would consider about in the same group, cost-wise and quality-wise. I got these. You can get these on Amazon under the brand name, or under, it says Kuptool, Kuptool. Even though it says Mungyo Gallery, these are not the same as the softer ones that you can get, which I have some I'll show you later. These were, you can get 50 of them for $18.99. All the label says is the name, the number. It does have ASTM label on there, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't give like pigment information or whatnot. You can get these in sets of 25 and 50 on Amazon. If you look at the label, it does say Mungyo. It does have very little information. This information right here is what is in English. The rest is Chinese, and I'm not sure what all. And it just lists the colors that are included. There's no swatching card or anything like that. These were made in China. And Mungyo says it's from Korea. So there you go. There's those. The web address is mungyo.co.kr, and I'll put that on the screen. These are like a student grade of the Mungyo, and this says vermilion on it, and it does give the number 511. So you can see their vermilion. This one is ultramarine, and again, it has the number on it. These are Marie's, and you can get these on Temu is where I got these. And just from the graphics, you can tell that they're aimed more for children. But we artists, you know, sometimes kids' art supplies are just what we need. These are made in Shanghai. They conform to ASTM. For 36 of them on Temu, they were $8.48. A cool thing about these is they're hexagon shaped. I really like that because they don't roll away from me. And if you look at the labels, they don't give a lot of information in English. It does say oil pastels, Marie's, and there's some things in Chinese. The back of it, if you look at it, it does tell you what the color number is and the name. So I knew for sure that this was vermilion. I don't see the number though. Fortunately, I haven't taken these out of order yet. They're in the order they came in when they were shipped. So I was able to tell that this was vermilion. They're nice and creamy. I'm noticing there's not as much flaking. There is no odor on these. These remind me more of like a crayon to me. And then the ultramarine blue, nice bright colors. And then let me go in here and maybe if I was using my bare hand, I'm just seeing how much they blend. They don't rub too much. These look like they're rubbing more. These look like they, let me try my bare hand. Oops, sorry. But yeah, these feel, find a clean hand here. Then the red doesn't. It doesn't feel as, so it may depend just upon the color. But those were interesting. You can get them at ChinaMaries.com is the company website, or like I said, I got them at Temu. Okay, the next one are these Tavolozza? Forgive me. Which the artwork on the box is beautiful. You can get these on Amazon, and I noticed that they had a lot of different art supplies that this company makes, and it's TA, and I'll write this on the screen so you know what it is. It is exactly. This is the Italian word for palette. They're eco-friendly and non-toxic. I found very little information about them online. They were $14.99 on Amazon. And I am going to have products listed below with affiliate links, just if anybody's interested. Affiliate just means I get a few pennies for if you purchase through the link, which helps keep me in supplies and all that good stuff. I do notice an odor as I open these. I don't know that I'd noticed it before. It's not as bad as the Pentel, but it's sort of a crayon smell. And then the labels on them are just very basic. It says the brand, the oil pastels, and the color. And that's it. So I'm noticing they're a little softer than the previous ones. I'm feeling a little bit of blotchiness. You know, where not gummy is the word, but they don't lay, this one didn't lay smooth. It didn't come off I don't see it on this one. That's a nice strong pigment in there too, on both of them. They're a little bit softer. I would say these are like a step above the Pentel and the Kuptool. And if you look at the pigment color compared to it, and these are $14.99. The Mungyo student grade are $18.99. And there are 48 in this set. And if you look at the back, it does have colors with the names. There are 6 neon colors and 6 metallic colors. So if you're someone that won't use those colors, you're gonna, you use traditional colors, there's 12 right there that you won't use. But if that's something you're interested in, they're there. They are supposed to be conforms to ASTM. So this might work for somebody, a child who's getting more serious about their artwork and they want something a little nicer. These might be something, because, look at the pigment. The pigment does have, on the blue, has kind of a reddish range to it, but so much stronger in pigment amount. I don't know if the camera is really picking that up. These are available at Hobby Lobby, and although it says $39.99, usually they will have a 40% off sale on anything that's Master's Touch. So just keep that in mind. And I've used these a lot. Well, you can see how much I've used them. But I got these before I used the Paul Rubens and the Mungyo Gallery. I got these at the Wichita's Hobby Lobby, and Michael's was clear across town. And at the time, there was just no way I could fit going across town in my schedule. Okay, then the Master's Touch. Oh, I did say there was a slight odor on those too, didn't I? But like I said, it wasn't very noticeable on the last ones that I would put it at the level of like opening up new crayons. It's not necessarily a bad smell. Okay. And then this is the vermilion, and I don't know if the camera's picking that up. They're much smoother, and you'll notice and this was labeled the same. That was labeled as vermilion, and these I know you can blend and build up. If that gives you an idea. And then they do smear. nicely. And those were the Master's Touch. The archivalness, is questionable. I don't know if you're doing something that you know, say for a commission. I don't know that I would recommend these particular ones or these for a commission because of archivalness. You don't want to sell somebody something, I'm sure, and have it, you know, 10 years later, it's faded and you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Okay, Paul Rubens. Paul Rubens is one that I use a lot because for a few reasons. One, look at this color selection. This box that it comes in offers great protection. They are, and these are this considered, and forgive me, I'm a Kansas born and bred, so Macaron is the line that they are of the Paul Rubens. Macaron. You can get these in sets of 26, 36, 50, and 72. This set is a set of 50, and I got it for $25.80 on Amazon. One issue is there's no open stock. You can't, that I found anyway, where you can go and buy these individually, and I wish there was. But at the cost of these sets, when this set of 50 is $25.80, and these are much softer. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And these are nice and soft. Do I have the right one? Yeah. And then the ultramarine blue. Again, this is a little blotchy here. I don't know if you can see that. This is just watercolor paper that I'm putting this down on. But it does have a nice blendability. And as far as like smearing them, they are very soft. See that in comparison to the others. The pigment, there's a lot of pigment in there. I didn't notice any odor. One thing you can do with Paul Rubens is you can go in and you can buy these sets and these small boxes of just white, which I love. I think this is my second box of these. I'm going to compare the size to the Master's Touch. This is the Paul Rubens and this is the Master's Touch. They definitely are larger. I really like these. Non-toxic, eco-friendly. So, and this is the back of the Paul Rubens. Restore at room temperature and keep away from moisture, sunlight, and high temperature. For those of you that remember my video, my short, strong, tintorial power, and not easy to fade. So that's the Paul Rubens. Then the next one is this Mungyo Gallery, which is not the student grade. The set I bought, anyway, comes in this really nice box. And I've kept this in there. If you want to see the box a little better. Like this, about that thick. This set for $72 in a wood box cost $42.80. You can get a set of 48 for $19.90, or this wooden box for $42.80. And the labels on them give the number, made in Korea, has the name in 3 different languages. But if you notice the quality here, the ultramarine in Paul Rubens was blotchy, and this one's not. And it seems to be pretty consistent across the board as far as softness. And there's very little fallout, very little, what do we want to call those? You know, the little crumbs that comes off of them. But look at the difference there. I'm surprised because I do use a lot of Paul Rubens. And I'm nothing against Paul Rubens, but the Mungyo Gallery went down a whole lot smoother. They do cost more, but the 72 was $42.80 of the Mungyo, and the Paul Rubens was $25 on Amazon. So you can get 22 more for about $20 more, roughly. And the blendability of these, I'm just smushing them to see if they, this one really surprises me because I didn't realize there was that much difference between the Mungyo and the Paul Rubens. That's interesting. And if you want to see these test swatches closer, so far I would say the Mungyo is given the best painterly ability, and then maybe the Master's Touch. I would say they were comparable. This next one I have is the Sennelier. I never can pronounce it correctly, but look at these colors. Looky. I mean, isn't that just, don't you just want to like play with every color? It's just, If you're not familiar with the history of this brand of pastels, this was brought about because Henry S. Was well known for making quality art materials, and I believe it said in 1949, Picasso and Henri Gautier. I'll put the name on this, but you can buy, anyway, they went to him and said, hey, can you make something that we can use on multiple different surfaces, you know, that's easy to handle, you know, what you got? So he came up with these oil pastels, and this is a set of just 12. You can buy these in open stock. Open stock, I want to say, starts at like $3.99 a stick. These are super soft. They are like a lipstick. I mean, they're super soft. With oil pastels, I like to work from the thinner ones to the fatter ones, or the ones with that are softer. So I would start with like the Pentel or the Mungyo Gallery student grade, just to kind of sketch it out, and then go up to the next softest if you're using multiple brands, and use the Mungyo Gallery, the artist grade, and then use these on top of it for the, it's a little like oil painting in my mind, that you go fat over lean. You can go through these fairly quickly though too, because they are so soft. But look at the coverage of that. I am getting a little bit of blotchiness in there on the blue. Not as bad as the Paul Rubens, but not as less as the Mungyo Gallery, or not as little. And look how much better the red covered the colors laid on top of each other. See, if you had something like this and you put it over like a Pentel, you can get you can get I wanted to label that before I forgot. You can get some coverage there that you don't get in some of the others just by themselves. If you use a hard pastel, oil pastel, over a soft one, it will kind of scrape it away. This is a Pentel. It won't give you the coverage on the softer ones. And in fact, it starts kind of scraping them away. I don't know if you can see that. I've used these a lot. This little box here, I haven't used as much because it's relatively new. But yeah, I've used these a lot to where I can't read on there on some of them. And that's why I wear gloves. The cost of these is a lot higher than the others because there's more pigment in it than binder. That's why they're softer. A set of these, a set of 24 of these is $53, and a 48 set is $78.03. If you compare those prices to the others, a set of 48 of the Tavolozza, forgive me, sorry, I know I keep apologizing for my pronunciation, but for the Paul Rubens, for a set of 50, you can get $25.80. Now they're not as soft as these are, and the Mungyo, you can get a set of 72 in the wood case for $42.80, and then a set of the Sennelier is $78 for the same in the box. It isn't a nice sturdy box, but yeah. And then Paul Rubens recently came out with these. The sky is parted, the angels sang. These I love. If you look at the box, it says, let more people like Chinese colors. These are made in China. It does come with a swatching card. This is what the set looks like. I did a video using these on a project, and I will link that above on the card. This is what the back looks like. It's very small writing, but it does give the item number and the color on each one. It doesn't give any pigment content that I can see anyway. The only complaint I have of these right off the bat is, here, let me get a cleaner one that I haven't used at all. I have a really hard time reading the labels. Like, look at this. This is actually like a phthalo blue color. But look at that label. It's like a brown. And here's one that you can see the writing on a little better. But it's still difficult for me to read just because there's not a lot of contrast there. You know, thank goodness I had this, because this was the swatches that I made when I first unboxed them. But this gives the color. Well, I wrote the color on there and the number so that I could see those little dots right there. That's how I found the vermilion, because I couldn't tell which one it was. That was the first complaint I had about these. And this is vermilion, and it is a little blotchy compared to so their vermilion has more yellow in it. Blue is nice. Nice. I love that. These are really soft. I would compare them to this Sennelier. The price is what gets me on these, because as good as those look, and I know the ultramarine looks a little with the slight green hue and the vermilion. But I mean, you could use a different red. There is a little bit of blotchiness in those, but if budget is what worries you, you can get a set of 48 of these. This box is $27.99 on Amazon. You can get a box of 60 for $35.99, or a set of 72 for $46.99. So if you compare those to the Sennelier, it is 40 for 48 of them at $78. You can get a set of 48 for $27, less than half. I mean, that's substantial. I wrote a lot of notes on this brand because it really intrigued me. They have a bullet design, which is the same as these, where they're not just chopped off at the end when they're produced, but one end is rounded off like they are in these, in the higher priced ones. Each label has the color, the number, and it's supposed to have the light fastness on here. I cannot see it. I imagine you would be able to look it up online and it would tell you. There's a few things on here in Chinese. I see some blotchiness in this ultramarine of the Sennelier, and this is more of a tealish blue to me. It leans toward the greenish, but this was a little blotchy up here and leans more toward the orange for the vermilion. And this is why I swatch everything when it comes in, because you just don't know until you get them out and you start playing with them. I love these. I love this set. I use them a lot. These came out in May of this year, so they're a relatively new material that Paul Rubens has offered. And right now they are at a wonderful price. But $27.99 for 48 of them might be comparable to the Hobby Lobby and the Paul Rubens Macaron. The Haiya Paul Rubens set of 48, $27.99. 50 of the Paul Rubens Macaron for $25.80. So that's comparable. But if you were to have an ideal set of just standard oil pastels, Paul Rubens Macaron for like the medium thickness, and then a set of the Haiya of the Paul Rubens is what I would use. These two, with this being the softer. So these would go underneath these, is what I would do, because you can always draw out what is underneath there with a pencil or whatnot. If I bought one set, it would be these. It would be the Mungyo, because look at there's no blotchiness in there. The price is reasonable. I'm impressed. I honestly would have said these, or go ahead and splurge and get the Sennelier before I did these swatches. So the fact that these are performing so well, if by chance the Mungyo is not archival, if there's issues with that area, I would go ahead and splurge and get the Sennelier, because if archivalness in these is probably a quality issue, then I'm sure they're going to be an issue in these. These are, I'm sure, as far as quality as of archivalness and all that good stuff. I need to do a fade test. I need to do color swatches of all of them and then tape them to a window with half of them blocked off. If I'd done that at the beginning of the summer, that would have been ideal. There are pastels that you can get that are water soluble, So if you're a mixed media person, you're probably already familiar with these. These are Caran Neocolor 2. This is an old set, so, and I've pulled some out. They come in a nice metal tin. And these are the two. The thing with these, when you put them down, are more like the Pentel, but they're water soluble. So I can put water on here and use them like watercolors. There are Caran Neocolor, how well that covers. Neocolor, just regular Neocolor, that are not water soluble, but these are. These are $51.95 for a set of 30 of these on Amazon. And you can buy them individually on Dick Blick. And I have found that Dick Blick usually will have a comparable price to Amazon. So if you're anti-Amazon, be sure to check out Dick Blick. The only thing is you don't get free shipping until you spend, I believe it's $59. If you have a problem with Hobby Lobby, I would avoid the Master's Touch and get the Mungyo. Get these. So there we have it. I have gone through every pastel brand I have. Whatever ones you do, and you want extra just white, I really like the Paul Rubens little sets that you can get like this. These are about like $10. There was one that had, yeah, the Haiya. The Haiya. These you could get, you can buy white and black separate individual sticks. You can also get the black and white in a grand size. If you're familiar with paint sticks, they're more that size. They're probably equal to maybe 2 or 3 at least of these, and they're in one stick. So they're good size. But right now, all they have available is the black and white. It'd be great if they eventually started offering all the colors that way. Which, who knows, maybe that's their goal. That's the information I have on all of my oil pastels. If you want mixed media, you might try out some of these Caran. But you can see it just, which is a nice feature. I can see taking these out in the field much easier. Sennelier has a FIxative. I have not tried it yet, but I've heard good things about it. I've been using this because I already had it. It does seem to work well for what I need. I don't notice a huge change in the color becoming more transparent, except for in the white, which is typical. It'll work that way in the soft pastels also. But I've been using this, and this is reasonably priced. This was, I believe, like $15. I think the Sennelier is $25, $30. But if you use the Sennelier, let me know what your findings are in it, because I'd be curious. So I thought I'd just share that with you, and if you have any thoughts or information that you'd like to share, just feel free to put it below. We are here to learn if you're here watching videos on YouTube, so I'm not going to keep any information that I have from you. What I have is yours. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a great deal. If you haven't already and you've watched this video, and if you would subscribe, maybe give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you more than I can say. You rock. You're awesome. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.